It's a Sunday showdown between two promotion hopefuls. Hello and welcome to SUTV Live on the day that Sheffield United head to the Riverside to take on Chris Wilder's Middlesbrough. The team news is in. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Also before kick-off at 2, we'll hear from Paul Heckingbottom, Wes Foderingham and Billy Sharp. And remember, for all of the details around broadcasting restrictions for this afternoon's show, you can find them by going to the website sufc.co.uk. Hello again, good to be back. More action coming your way then. Sheffield United up on Teesside, hoping to get another win after last week's win over Millwall. Two very special guests alongside me, two popular Scousers for this one, Mark Duffy and Jack O'Connell. Welcome. Thank you. Mark, you've been in before, but Jack, it's your debut with us. Lovely to see you. We'll talk about how you're getting on and all that kind of stuff a little bit later on. Mark, you keeping well?
Yeah, very well, thanks.
Good man. Okay, well, let's go straight to the team news then, shall we? Because I'm sure that's what you're all interested in. A couple of changes from the Millwall game a week ago. Clark is out and Brewster drops out as well. Sharp and Lowe come in. So Foderingham in goal. Hodic, Egan and Norrington Davis as the back three. Baldock and Lowe as wing backs. In midfield, Norwood, Fleck and Berger and Jai and Sharp leading the front line. But obviously, Jai will drop into that number 10 role and probably go wherever he wants, in all fairness. On the bench, you can see Reda Kadra, Tommy Doyle, James McAtee, and Ollie McBurney makes the bench as well. Mark, your thoughts on the lineup first?
I think obviously Billy's come into the team a little bit more experience, and obviously the opposition that we're playing against, he'll have that connection, and he'll lead the team from the front, and that's what we'll need today. Obviously Rian will be disappointed to drop to the bench, but we've got a lot of attacking options there on the bench to bring on later on the game, especially with the 5 subs.
The fact that Billy starts, Jack, has that got anything to do with the manager that Sheffield United are facing today? The fact that Billy knows Chris inside out, has that in any way, do you feel, swayed Paul Heckingbottom's thinking?
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, with the skip, you guarantee goals, aren't you? And I'm glad to see him back. Obviously, he's been out injured, and to get a start today, like I said, you guarantee goals. And obviously, Rian will be disappointed, but I'm sure he'll get his chance again. And it's good to see Ollie Mack back on the bench as well.
Hodic, let me ask you about him, because he was outstanding against Millwall, and you came with a pretty big reputation anyway. What were your thoughts on how he performed?
Who's that, sorry?
Anel. I'll call him Anel for you.
Honestly, I thought he was unbelievable. I watched that from the stand, and I was so impressed with him. He's got pace, he can step in with the ball, perfect for that position. Obviously, Bashi's been unbelievable. He's out injured at the minute, but I'm sure there'll be a good fight for that position.
Did he impress you, Mark, as well?
Yeah, to be honest, I was very surprised. The system that they play, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get used to, but he just hit the ground running, and it just looked like Bash was playing there. To be honest, that's probably the biggest compliment I could give him.
Obviously, lots of changes at West Brom the other night, but let's look at from one league game to the other, from Watford to Millwall. What, in your opinion, were the big changes from the two performances?
Just probably the tempo that we played on we were a little bit more aggressive and on the front foot, and obviously Watford, we were probably a little bit scared stepping in a little bit because of the pace they had on the break, where at home with Millwall we really took the game to them, and it could have been a few more goals really.
What about you, Jack, in terms of what you've seen from the team so far?
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it, because it was the first game of the season. Yeah. I think the players are still getting up to speed, but the fans, the biggest one. When you're back at the Lane, the first home game of the season, I think they got right behind them, and the lads showed.
Middlesbrough, I mean, we know what they're likely to put in front of Sheffield United today, purely because of the manager, but they are a team who, like Sheffield United, are expected to be up there. Is this a good early yardstick for United?
Yeah, I think it's been a tough start for United, to be honest, with the games that they've had. Obviously, there's a lot of emotion in this game as well, so a lot of the players will have to play with the head as well, and and use that experience that they've got. But it is a good yardstick, and Middlesbrough haven't started too well, so us knowing the gaffer there, he will make sure that these are right at it for this game, because it will mean a lot to him, not just personally, but to get those points on the board.
He is having to chop and change a little bit, isn't he, in that left-sided centre-half position. Norrington Davis, we expect to go back in there today. No Kieran Clark. That's not ideal, is it, in terms of trying to find the right balance week to week?
Yeah, obviously it is always tough because you want that continuity of, you know, players playing week in, week out, and they get that relationship. You know, the best times we had over the last couple of years was when there was Jack, Eags and Bash playing every week, and you sort of get to know each other's game, and, you know, if Jack steps in or whoever steps in, the other one fills in, and when players are dropping out and, you know, getting injured and stuff, and you bring in new players in, it takes them time to get used to certain players. So, you know, I'm sure Hecky and that'll be, you know, hoping to have a solid back line for a couple of months.
You and Chris Basham were key to how Chris wanted to play, getting forward from those outside centre-back positions. Do you see it slightly changing now under the new manager because of the personnel that he's got? Do you think it has changed in that regard? Are we seeing that as much?
Yeah, I think you've seen it last week with him now, definitely. And I think Reece has played wing-back, so he's definitely got the overlap in his locker. And obviously in pre-season, I think the gaffer really fancies Reece in that position as well, so I think he's been doing a lot of work individually with him in that position too.
Jack O'Connell and Mark Duffy are with us. We're going to speak loads more to the chaps in just a short while, but let's hear from one of the players who is involved up at the Riverside today. I caught up a short while ago with Ollie Norwood. Ollie, thanks for joining us. Lovely day up on Teesside. What are your thoughts looking ahead to this one?
Yeah, it's a warm one. Lovely day for a game of football. Might be a bit hot, but they're the conditions we're dealt, and we'll just get on with it. Really excited. I think it's going to be, you know, an entertaining game of football. One that obviously we fancy our chances of winning again, and we're coming here looking forward to the challenge ahead.
How do you reflect on the start to the season you've made?
A decent start. A good performance last week at home to Millwall. Possibly should have been more than two. Obviously disappointed with the result at Watford. There wasn't much in the game really. A couple of counter-attacks from them. We didn't really threaten their goal as much as we would have liked, but 3 points from the first two games. If we can follow that up with a win today, it looks like a decent start. What's the game plan today then? What can you tell us? Win. Yeah, but what's the key to winning it, do you think? We know the manager from Middlesbrough quite well between us. We know what to expect. We know the first 15-20 minutes they're going to come flying out the blocks. So we've just got to make sure we concentrate, start the game well, and look to take control from there. But we know what to expect, as I'm sure they know what to expect from us. It should be an interesting game. As I say, it should be an entertaining one. I know people on the outside will be looking at this as two teams who will be hoping to be in the promotion mix at the end of the season. Do you, as a group of players, look at it as a yardstick? I don't think this early in the season you can say who's going to be up there, down there, or anywhere really, to be honest. I think it's that early. I mean, you've only got to look at us last season. The first 17 games or 18 games, we were 17th in the league and ended up finishing, you know, as high as we did. So I think it's too early for that. But you know, you want to put a marker down early in the season and show teams that we want to be there or thereabouts come the business end. And before you go, I've got Mark Duffy and Jack O'Connell in the studio here. Would you like to say anything to them? No, good to see you lads as always. I see Jack every day, obviously, and obviously good to see Duffs. Good to see him doing well, and hopefully we'll see him. Hopefully get to see us put on a good performance and a good result. Well, all three of us will be cheering you on this afternoon. Good luck, mate. Thanks ever so much. Thank you, mate. Cheers. No worries. Thank you. Cheers. It's Ollie Norwood who starts today. Jack O'Connell. He sometimes, for me, is made a bit of a scapegoat. And I know when you've watched from the stands, you sometimes perhaps hear that criticism. How unfair is that? Very unfair, and you know, I've had arguments with fans about Ollie Norwood in the past as well, and I've played with him for so long. He's so vital to the way we play. We've played with other players in that position, and it's just not the same. He's got the best pass I've ever played with. So I think it's very unfair, to be honest. And he can carry United up the pitch, can't he, quickly? You know, making those transitions from defence into attack. Yeah, he's got the best passing range I've ever seen, like definitely who I've played with, and that he can kill you with one pass. And he's proved it for so many years, and he's still getting stick now. And the thing is, though, he'll try several passes in a game, Mark, and if one goes wrong, the fans sometimes jump on that, don't they, and don't see the successful ones that he makes. Yeah, but, you know, they've got to look at the bigger picture in the sense that his switch of play
allows us to get the overloads on the sides, and that's what's so important in the team and the way we play, is that, you know, we make a few passes one side, ball comes to Ollie, and he does a 40-50 yard diagonal where it takes 5-6 players out the game, and then that's where you get your overloads. And you know, I've played with loads of players who pass sideways and backwards all the time, and for me, they're the most frustrating players, because they actually see the pass into the 10 or out wide, but they choose to play the safe pass because, you know, a lot of players look at the stats and say, well, I kept the ball for 98% of the time, where at least Ollie's trying the pass, and, you know, yeah, he might have some unsuccessful ones, but the majority of them are unbelievable passes.
Middlesbrough against Sheffield United is a 2 o'clock kick-off this afternoon. The Blades beaten in the week in the EFL Cup at West Brom, but they are today chasing back-to-back league wins after the victory here against Millwall.
The sound of the greasy chip butty song echoes around Bramall Lane for the first time this season. Norwood has gone for goal here. Here's Njayi, and he fires it in. Element Njayi, an electric start to the campaign. Drove into the area, and he fires the Blades into an early lead here at Bramall Lane. Berger, away from his man. Berger at the byline. Baldock, brilliant move this. Almost came to Ryan Brewster. Baldock, Mahodic is bursting forward here. Still comes to the Bosnian, who gets his shot away. And a second attempt as well. What can United do here with Fleck? Turns into a really good area. Here's Berger around the keeper, Sander Berger. It's in. It was a really tight angle, but the Norwegian has finished well, and Sheffield United have doubled their advantage. Brilliant start to proceedings for the Blades. They lead by 2 goals to 0. Lovely turn from Njayi. Here's Brewster. Baldock's cross, and over by Fleck. Still Brewster. Needs support here. Might go himself. Brilliant run this from Brewster. He goes down. It's a penalty. Here's Norwood. Saved again, this time by Biakovsky. Njayi for Oliver Norwood. From distance. Dicked. Norwood for United. Lifts it into the penalty area. And Baldock controls it well. Rolls it back for Osborne to shoot. Jefferson leaves it into the path of Berger. Sharp's got his arm raised in the area. Berger looking to find Billy Sharp. Put the defender under pressure, who did well. And there is the full-time whistle. United are off and running in the Championship.
Big win that for the Blades. Obviously, first game at home in the Championship, and to get off to a win, Mark, that was important, wasn't it? Yeah,
especially after the back of the Watford game. It's always good to get your points on board, and it was a good performance. There could have been more goals. Obviously, the missed penalty, but then obviously players are coming back from injury, getting more minutes. I thought Njayi was really good again, so a lot of positives to take from it.
Clean sheet as well, which obviously was a real platform for this team under Paul Heckingbottom last season.
Yeah, that's it. Obviously everything's got to start from the back, and you've got to be solid, because if you're leaking goals, it's not good. But the more clean sheets you get, the confidence grows with the lads at the back. And obviously with Wes in goal, he had such a good year last year, and it will just breathe that confidence that you need.
Clean sheets is what you're in the business for, or were in the business for when you were playing, Jack. Have you been impressed with what you've seen from the lads?
Yeah, I mean, it's still early days, but obviously I get to see them every day in training, and they work on defending set plays and defensive units, and it's a massive part of the game, and I think playing 5 at the back, it definitely helps. And I mean, there's going to be a tougher test ahead, but I'm sure we can get some good clean sheets.
I just want to ask you about John Egan, because he's the one constant there, isn't he? He plays seemingly every minute of every game. That's what it feels like. To play alongside somebody like that, he goes about his business very quietly. He's a leader, obviously, but you know what you're going to get from him, don't you? Every single week, a minimum 7 out of 10. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, he's played so many games. He's very rarely injured. Top player, top lad, talks on the pitch, and he's obviously wears the armband as well. He's definitely a leader. But yeah, he's really a good player.
Let's have a look back at what happened at West Brom in the week. Now, Sheffield United weren't the only Championship side to go out of the EFL Cup in the week, but You know, these games are an opportunity, aren't they, for the manager to perhaps give players who are on the fringes an opportunity, and we saw James McAtee in this game as well. Had some really good moments, actually, in this game, McAtee.
Yeah, you know, he started the game really well, and, you know, obviously, you know, faded a little bit, but as you said, it's a good opportunity for one, players to get the fitness levels up a little bit more, and two, just to get minutes and get used to playing with certain players again and getting used to the formation. And as you can see here, you know, the lads are getting in some great opportunities, and it's just that last little bit that could be, you know, match sharpness and stuff. But, you know, I thought it was a decent performance, just, you know, obviously lacking them goals.
Breda Cadra as well, getting a taste of the action. What's he been like in training from what you've seen, Jack?
Sharp, really sharp. I think he needs to get up to speed, and I think he'll be a really good player. Yeah.
And having lost Gibbs White from last season, to have players like McAtee and Cadra who can bring that bit of creativity and flair, can only be a good thing.
Well, that's it. I think that we touched on it last week. You know, that Gibbs White was such an important player with, you know, the goals and the assists he brought to the team. It's, you know, people are going to compare Cadra to them and McAtee, but, you know, they've got to take that responsibility and, you know, produce the goals and assists that they're in the team for, really.
And the good thing about this squad now is that for pretty much every position, there's two players for it, and you can't ask for more than that, can you, as a manager, really?
No, I think that's one of our strengths, is our squad's so good. I think if you look at our bench and the players that are still coming back from injury, I think we've got a really good squad. So definitely I think that'll hold us in good stead.
Obviously it's a more familiar looking lineup for the game at Middlesbrough today, but Sheffield United going out there in the EFL Cup to West Brom in the week, and Paul Heckingbottom felt it was a missed opportunity.
Some good bits, a bit disappointed to lose. I thought the game was there for us to win. We didn't take his chances, and then they took theirs when they got a couple at the end. So, yeah, I thought it was there for us to win. And we had some, especially first half, we had some real big moments, big opportunities. Yeah, but we weren't clinical enough. And then probably the other disappointing thing was what didn't lead to chance. So good play down the sides of the box, and a big difference. I just put the players there between us attacking the ball in their box and them in ours, and that's what we need to carry forward, because we did a lot of work on that last year to help us get goals, and it's a message to the players we brought in that that's what we expect. You know, it's no good just getting there. We want goals, and so, because we want to win one, but also they want to get in the team and stay in the team. So if you're producing goals, then you're more likely to play, obviously. So yeah, it's just another message back to the players who we worked with last year, reinforcing that, and to highlight it for the new players.
More from Paul Heckingbottom before kick-off at 2 o'clock at the Riverside, Middlesbrough against Sheffield United. Well, we heard from the manager there on that defeat at the Hawthorns. Let's hear from the man of the match, Wes Foderingham, who says that there wasn't much between the two sides.
I thought it was a tight game. I think it could have went anyway. If I'm being critical of our performance, I'd say we probably didn't threaten enough their goal. But all round, I thought it was a decent enough performance.
You had a strong performance tonight. How pleased are you with your start to the season so far?
Yeah, I've done all right. Pleased, obviously, to make a few saves. Disappointed to come out on a losing end, but that's what I'm in the team to do. When the boys need me to make big saves in big moments, and I made a few tonight, but ultimately, we still lost the game. So the overriding feeling is disappointment. And there's a lot of games to be played. A lot of stuff can happen. Injury, loss of form. So there's minutes to be up for grabs for all the boys. Even if it's not, they get minutes at the start of the season. There's a lot of football to be played. So yeah, it's going to help us, and I think we've got a lot of quality in the side, and obviously with the boys that are not currently in the team as well.
He was brilliant last season, Wes Foderingham, wasn't he? He had to be patient to get his chance, but my word, did he take it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when he come in the team, he made some unbelievable saves. You know, I think about the penalty saves he made. One where he actually stayed in the middle of the goal, which showed, you know, the confidence that he had. And when you have a goalkeeper like that behind you, it breeds confidence for everyone, really.
You'll know what that's like, having a good goalie behind you.
Yeah, I was just thinking about what Duff said then, like the calmness he brings, and you know, that goes throughout the team, and it's so good to have him behind you. Obviously, I haven't got to play with him, but I can see that the lads really benefit from it.
Let's talk about you. It's great to have you here today. You won't need reminding when your last appearance was. It's getting on for 2 years now, and all Blades fans are desperate to see you back and desperate to know what the latest is. What can you tell us?
I mean, I'm still working hard every day to try and get back. That goes without saying. It's been a tough 2 years. It's been a roller coaster. You get some good days, you get some bad. But I think for now, it's just a case about taking it slow, so I don't have any more setbacks. So I think that's probably the best thing for me to do is just take it slow now and really try and crack on and get back playing.
2 years. It's a long time. I mean, you must have been to some pretty dark places in that period.
Yeah, it is. It's lonely. You know when you're in the gym every single day and you see the lads out training and obviously playing at the lane, and it's tough. That's what I love to do. I love to play football, and I'm working hard every day to try and get back.
Is there a time scale, or does that not come into the thinking at the moment?
I don't think so, no, because I think I've tried to do that in the past where I've been like, right, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Get a bit giddy, and then I have a setback. So I think for now it's just take it slow and just make sure I'm going upwards.
How much training are you doing at the moment? What are you able to do?
Well, I'm in the gym every single day. I mean, I've been taking some of the injured lads. The manager pulled me actually and said, I'd like you to take some of the sessions with the injured lads. So that's been good, you know, felt a part of the team and putting them through the paces. But I'm not back running, but I don't think it's far away.
The thing is, though, the fans haven't forgotten you. You'd be pleased to know, and no doubt you feel that anyway, and the love that you still get from them. Despite this long period since you last played, that must give you a lot of motivation to get back. 100%,
and you know, when you look at like the Ipswich goal, when I look back at that, it gives me goosebumps and gives me that motivation to, and I know myself, I've still got that hunger to get back, and I know it's been 2 years, but honestly, like I'm working hard every single day to try and get back.
Mark, you've had injuries in the past. Can you even imagine what it's like to be this fella alongside you at the moment, going through what he's going through?
No, not really, because I feel so much for Jack, because I know the person that he is, and I know the hard work that he puts in, and you know, it kills me that he's out, because he's put so much effort in and time to get to the place that he is, and he got to, and then obviously now he's out. He's been out for so long, but if there's one person who can get back to the level he was at, it would be Jack, because of the hard work he puts in, day out. You know, he eats, breathes and lives football. So adding to that is, I know how frustrating it would be for him. And when I've spoke to him in the past, I have said to him, just take your time, because, you know, don't rush, because he will try and rush back, because he's so desperate to get back out there, like anyone is. But hopefully he will get back out there, and we'll see him, you know, charging down that left side again.
We certainly hope so. Are you a good spectator?
No.
No.
So last year I was still really disappointed not being able to play. So it was hard for me to watch. But this year I really want to be a part of the group and like try and bring anything I can to the lads, and maybe like try and help Reece if he's playing in that position.
And how are the lads with you? I mean, how supportive have they been? Because you need that, don't you? You need to feel that support from your teammates, even if you're not involved every week.
No, yeah, the lads have been unbelievable. And so, to be fair, so the coaching staff and all the physios, they've been really good with me. Obviously, I just want to get back out and play, and I think that's what all the lads want as well, and the manager too. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Frustrating time for you, but your partner, Alex Greenwood's been having the time of her life winning the European Championship. I mean, she must be on top of the world at the moment.
I think she's on a come down at the minute because she's back in pre-season. But yeah, no, unbelievable achievement. And like we've had conversations in detail, and I think the Euros was unbelievable, but I think this is just the beginning. I think we're going to see some change, and hopefully we do, whether that's funding or the attendances at the WSL. Hopefully this is a step in the right direction.
I mean, you were here for one of the games at Bramall Lane. You went to the final as well. What was it like to experience that?
Do you know what? The atmosphere here was like when we played Manchester United in the Premier League. It was unbelievable. It was so good. And then obviously 90,000 at Wembley. Yeah, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it.
What attention has Alex been getting since lifting that trophy? How has her life changed, do you think?
It's been good because no one's asking me about my knee no more. Everyone's asking about Theo. No, but even yesterday, we went for dinner yesterday and some fella come over to me and said, can you sign this for my daughter? So little things like that, it means a lot.
Well, that's brilliant, isn't it? Because that's what I know that the girls are trying to do is to leave a legacy and give inspiration to young girls coming through now, and doing what they've done this summer can only help that. I mean, that every message coming from each and one of those players is, look, we want girls to be involved, we want to be the inspiration, we want to show that the opportunities are there.
Yeah, and like I said, that's what I mean about it's hopefully now this is just a start. I think they need some funding and, you know, get the attendances, because the audience is there. They proved they've got the audience at Wembley, so hopefully they can get the spectators through the door now.
You've enjoyed it, haven't you? I know you've been watching the game.
Yeah, I've loved watching the games, you know, and I have 2 young girls myself, and they've been asking me, they call Jack the Gruffalo. Speak
the
to
Gruffalo?
they say...
Why? Why the Gruffalo?
Well, just he's big, and he's big and scary. So my oldest said, speak to the Gruffalo and get some tickets for us to go and watch Alex play. So obviously I've been on to Jack, so we're going to go down and watch Alex and make a family day of it, really.
Mark Duffy and the Gruffalo are our 2 guests. And you happy with that, by the way, Gruffalo?
Yeah, I've heard the fears, yeah.
He's got no choice. He's got no choice. Jack O'Connell, Mark Duffy with me in the studio here. Right, back to the present. Sheffield United at Middlesbrough, 2 o'clock kick-off. Let's look back to the last meeting here, which turned out to be pretty special.
And it's John Fleck who gets this Sky Bet Championship contest underway. Speared in by Robinson, punched away by Lumley. Got a good connection on it. Back with Robinson. Good touch by Norwood, and the snapshot is over from Gibbs-White. Lovely second touch from Billy Sharp. Berger's coming into the penalty area. Keeper has had a nightmare there, and Berger with an absolute gift. Sheffield United take the lead. Sander Berger in front of the Kop. The vital touch was by Joe Lumley, and it was an easy finish for the Norwegian. United won up in this crucial encounter. Gibbs-White, Billy Sharp wants it. Gibbs-White might go it alone. Gibbs-White, Billy Sharp, 2-0 United. Brilliant play once again from Morgan Gibbs-White. 2 goals for the Blades, and it's Sharp once more. Clipped down the corner by Gibbs-White, gets it back from Sharp. This is wonderful play from United. Gibbs-White gallops forward. Gibbs-White saved by the legs of Lumley. United, they'll have this corner kick, which Ollie Norwood will take. Egan again the target. Robinson! 3-0 Blades. John Egan to Jack Robinson. And United have put themselves in a fantastic position coming up to the hour mark, and the Blades lead by 3-0. Oh no, that's a mistake. Can he recover? Foderingham, Balogun's taking it wide, but he's going to score. And Middlesbrough back in the game. And you have to say it's an absolute gift. Fallen kindly for Osborne. Gibbs-White! That's just brilliant from Morgan Gibbs-White. Osborne the architect, but what about the finish? United have their 3-goal cushion once again. And Morgan Gibbs-White has played another blinder for the Blades.
Well, the Blades would happily take a repeat of that result. What a night that was here at Bramall Lane. It was rocking that night. Team news today then. Let's have a look at how Sheffield United are lining up first of all. A couple of changes from the Millwall game. Clark and Brewster are the 2 players missing out. Sharp and Lowe come in. So Foderingham in goal. Hodic, Egan and Norrington Davis across the back, with Baldock and Lowe in the wing-back positions. Midfield, Norwood, Fleckenberger, Sharp and Njine on the bench. We've got McBurney, who's back from injury. Tommy Doyle's on there as well. As for Middlesbrough, 3 changes from their last league game. In come Fry, McNair and Akpom. Bowler, Crooks and Watmore are the players to drop out today. Mark Duffy, thoughts on that Middlesbrough starting 11?
I thought Fry would come in. He had a little bit more experience and a little bit of pace at the. But look, it's mostly about ourselves, really. I think if we play well, we're more than a match for anyone in the division. So, obviously, looking back at the previous highlights before, anything like that would be really nice.
Chris will be fired up for this one, won't it? It's the first time that Sheffield United have faced his team on his own patch as it is now. So I'm sure he still remembers very vividly, Jack, what happened here.
Yeah, and knowing the gaffer, I think he'll demand a reaction after the start of that. He'll want a reaction. So yeah, I think it's down to us to take the emotion out the game and have a mature away performance.
Can you do that though? Is it easy to do that? Take the emotion out of the game, considering what he did for this club?
It is tough because there is a lot riding on the game, not just points wise, but obviously the connection with players and stuff. But you know, it will be tough and it will be interesting to see. I think Middlesbrough start the game really fast and on the front foot and really try and get after us from the start. But I think if we can ride that first 20 minutes and start to build our way into the game, I think I personally think we have a lot more quality.
And those two as a pair, Chris Wilder and Alan Knill, in terms of your development as a player, Jack, you know, they changed how you played the game quite significantly, really, didn't they? What kind of an influence were those two on your career?
Massively, you know. I mean, Nilly on the training ground was unbelievable, but the gaffer's man management was second to none. I mean, he's a born winner. That's all I can say. That's why I'm thinking today Middlesbrough will have a reaction, and I think it's down to us to take the sting out of the game.
I know you're a big fan, obviously, for what he did for you as well, Mark.
The brilliant, the perfect pair. You've got Nilly who does all the tactical stuff and, you know, on a day-to-day basis, you know, goes into real fine details on all the tactical stuff. Obviously that's getting overseen by the gaffer, but then the gaffer's brilliant with the man management side of things, and, you know, if anyone needs a firm telling, the gaffer is the person to do it, and he makes sure that everyone's at it on a daily basis at training. You know, the intensity that we used to train at was insane. Training was probably harder than the matches. We'd go out on the match day and it would be playtime really. Training would be so hard, and that's what they bring.
But because he's a blade through and through, did you get the impression from him before every game that winning meant even more than it might do to anyone else? Did you kind of carry that pressure out there on his behalf?
Yeah, but I think that's just his personality. I think that's the way he is as a person. He's a winner. I mean, yeah, every game we went into, we wanted to win, whether that was Liverpool away, Man City away, he wanted to win. So yeah, he is unbelievable. What was your best memory of him here? Definitely getting promoted to the Premier League, 100%, yeah. The Ipswich goal here? Well, the whole season, just, you know, getting promoted as a team was unbelievable. Going from League One to the Premier League with all the lads was very special. Hillsborough?
Yeah, that's...
We still going on
yeah, we can't do any show without mention of Hillsborough. Yeah. It would be remiss of me to mention.
Don't you be jealous. No, obviously that's up there. But like Jack said, I think just the whole journey of from League One to the Premier League with everyone was just a special group of players and a special time that everyone will remember for a long, long time, because it was so brilliant and so unique, the way we played and the way we approached every game and just attacked everyone. And, you know, there'd be games when we'd be playing, you know, I'd be on the left side with Jack and teams would just be like, there's just bodies everywhere, we don't know what to do against us, and it gives you an unbelievable feeling when you're on the pitch when teams can't cope with you, and that comes from the manager and the staff really. Still feels a little bit strange seeing him in the Middlesbrough dugout, and he's looking for his first win. He's had a mixed start really in terms of performances. Drew with West Brom, which is not a bad result, and then 3-0 down at half-time at Queen's Park Rangers. Terrific second half display. Just gave themselves a little bit too much to do. What do you make of the job that he's done so far at Borough? I think he done unbelievable last year. For the team that he had and the position that they were in, to where they got to the end of the season, just missing out on playoffs. It was an unbelievable job, and to be honest, I thought they would kick on this year. Obviously it's a slow start, but it's not a start that I would have expected from him, just because of the demands he has on his team on a day-to-day basis. So today will be one of those days where he's really demanding his players to hit the ground and get those points. Because we did have a slow start most season. Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, we did, didn't we? I know, and that's what can happen. But in those games that we played in, I still thought that we were the dominant team, and you could see it was going to click. It was the same in League One when we lost the first 4 games. We dominated Bolton, we dominated Millwall away when you stupidly give the penalty away. But you know, we were playing well. The highlights I've seen of them, I don't think they've been that good, which has surprised me.
I mean, he's brought in a couple of players. He's also lost some key players as well. Jed Spence, who was excellent on loan at Forest last year. Tavernier's gone to Bournemouth as well. He's brought in Matt Hoppy, who I think is he's an American striker, but he's more seen as a developmental type player. Alex Mowat coming in from Barnsley seems like a really good signing to Barnsley from West Brom.
I think he's a really good signing. He had a good year last year, and I was surprised that they would be able to get him, to be honest. But obviously the other players that they've brought in as well, you know, they've got again the unique style of play. It takes time, doesn't it, Jack, to get used to the way they play.
As well. I think that's a good signing. Yeah, I think he's liked him for a while, to be honest. Very much his type of player. He's a winner as well, and he got sent off last week, didn't he? But he's back in the starting 11, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. To look at Middlesbrough as a club, they feel like one of those clubs who are very close to perhaps getting back to where they want to get to. Steve Gibson usually backs his managers, but you look at their league positions over the last few years, you can see, apart from when they finished 17th, they've been roughly there or thereabouts, but just, like so often a lot of teams do in this division, fall that little bit short. Do you think Chris is the kind of manager that could perhaps take them back to the Premier League?
Definitely, especially with obviously the gaffer's experience, and you only have to look at his career, and he's had promotions more or less all the time. I think what they're probably missing for me is, you know, that striker who gets 20 goals a season, and obviously they cost a pretty penny, so everyone's looking for that type of player. But I look at their team and I think that they are missing that striker who gets, you know, 15 to 20 goals. They tried to bring someone in last year in Connolly, didn't really work. They tried to bring obviously this new player in from Mallorca. Obviously, we don't know what he's going to be like. It might take him time to get used to the league and the physical demands of, you know, the training and the league. So it will come down to how many goals they can score. Because he used to always say to us, didn't he? Like, you know, everyone's got to chip in with goals, but you need that goal scorer.
I think Chuba Akpom's leading the line today. I mean, when we were kids, he was a really good player, but I mean, I don't think he's the player that's going to get out the Champions League, out the Championship. So. I think I agree with Duff. I think they're missing that striker. Yeah.
So if you were marking Chuba Akpom today, how would you go about it?
Kick him.
Is he a player you'd fancy yourself against?
Yeah, I mean, when we were kids, he was an unbelievable player when he played for England, but he kind of disappeared. He went and played abroad in Greece and stuff. And
here's something for you. Is that something though the gaffer would say, wouldn't he? Kick him.
Yeah.
They're the type of stuff the gaffer would say. Make sure you kick him and test him. And Jack probably doesn't want to say it, but Jack used to kick everyone. Yeah, and people used to always go the other side because he used to kick everyone. And, you know, you can talk about tactics and all these things, but a good firm kick by someone the size of Jack soon puts people off the game.
Enough about Borough for now. Let's talk about Sheffield United in an attacking sense. We touched a little bit on Cadra and McAtee and what they might bring. Illiman and Jai, we can see that the array of options that Paul Heckingbottom's got to work with. Billy Sharp leading the line today, and Jai will be on his shoulder, no doubt. But he's been brilliant, hasn't he? I think it's 5 goals in his last 9 games for Illiman and Jai. What do you think it is that he's done to take his game to the next level?
Consistency, really. You know, I spoke to Jack about him previously, and you know, we started last season pretty good. I thought personally he faded off a little bit, but that could be the demands for the Championship and the Saturday Tuesday games, and being a young player it takes time to get that consistency, where now when I watched him against Watford, I thought he was possibly the best player on the pitch. He was brilliant again against Millwall. He was good through the week as well, and he's adding that consistency to his game now, where, you know, he's more reliable on the ball. Obviously, we know he's got fantastic feet and he's got real good strength and pace. He's just adding that little bit more consistency to his game, which helps the team get up the pitch.
He's a game changer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's honestly, he's a baller. He's a good player. I think, touching on what Duff said, I think the confidence he's got now going away playing international football has definitely helped him as well. And looking at them clips there, I've seen him in the gym. He's definitely got a bit stronger as well. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he's doing.
That is something we discussed before the Watford game, is the physicality of him now, because as good as he was last season, there were occasions where he seemed to get knocked off the ball a fair amount, but we certainly saw it in the Watford game, how well he can protect the ball now and shield it from 2 or 3 players, not just one.
Well, that's a massive important part of a striker or a 10 or wherever he's playing, is the ability to hold on to the ball under pressure. You've got big centre-halves coming up behind you and putting pressure on you, and you know, if they know that you're physically weak, they will just put their arms on you and really force you to the floor, really. So he's probably gone away, or heck, he's gone away and he's had to chat with them and said, look, you need to develop yourself physically, and he's been in the gym or whatever he's done over the summer, and it's really paid benefits, because now when the ball comes into him, he's a lot more stronger. He can roll defenders, plus he's got this pace to get away from them. So it's a massive weapon that he's added to his armoury.
He's a shoo-in for a place in the 11 at the moment, but there does appear to be an opportunity for other strikers in this squad to really try and pin down a place. He's gone with Billy today. We know what Billy brings, but there's a lot of competition, isn't there, for that other spot at the top end of the pitch, Jack?
Yeah, and I think that's been the case for a few years now. I think we've had like 7 strikers. So yeah, it's obviously you get paid to put the ball in the back of the net, and I think the skip's the best at that. We all know that. I think that's why he's got his chance today. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I think we're going to need the whole squad for the season, definitely.
Well, the games come thick and fast, don't they? Sheffield United at Middlesbrough today. On Wednesday night, Sunderland come here. You can follow that game with us. It's an 8 o'clock kick-off. We'll be with you from 7 o'clock. And then next weekend, the Blades at home again to Blackburn Rovers, who've made an excellent start under Jon Dahl Tomasson, on air from 2 o'clock. Right, we've spoken a little bit about Billy Sharp. Let's hear from him then, shall we? He's expecting a stiff test at the Riverside today.
Yeah, it's going to be a great challenge, like it always is. Always a tough place to go. Obviously for different reasons as well, with our old manager being the manager, he'll want to get one over on us from last season. We just need to make sure that we're prepared, ready to stop their strengths, but be ready to play like we have done in spells this season already. I thought we was excellent against Millwall. They caused a big threat from set pieces and we nullified that, and obviously we'll know Middlesbrough's strengths and weaknesses, and it's up to us to exploit them.
If you can get a team performance somewhere near what you did last season when you played against Middlesbrough, that would be ideal, wouldn't it? That was a really good performance that night, and you yourself also had a really good day too.
I think it was one of them nights. Everything went for us, apart from the slip from Wes. That was the only time where we looked at for 2 or 3 minutes where we thought, we've lost the momentum, but soon got that back with Morgs' great flick goal, and we played really well that night. I also think that Middlesbrough was off that night as well. So we need to make sure we at them same levels as that, and I'm pretty sure that they'll play better this time. So we're in for a tough game, but we're looking to go there and get 3 points.
And Billy will be wearing the new Sheffield United away kit at Middlesbrough today, which is now available to pre-order. Yep, it is available to pre-order right now. What do you reckon to the new away strip, Jack? Like that?
Yeah, it'd be nice to wear it.
Of course it would. Mark?
Yeah, really like it.
Good, thumbs up from the guys here. We're building up to kick off at the Riverside, Sheffield United at Middlesbrough. What kind of a game are you expecting today, Mark?
It'll be a tough day, to be honest, because obviously, the heat will be really important that we keep the ball when we do have it. I think Middlesbrough will try and start the game on the front foot and really get after us early doors. So it'll be important that we, can withstand that early pressure from them. The longer the game goes on, I think they'll get more frustrated. And then we have so many attacking options on that bench, which could play a huge factor in the later stages of the game. So just managing the game, keeping the ball, and then you're just letting the game open up, really.
It's very warm. Will the conditions play a part, do you think?
I think so, yeah. I think it might be a slow game. I think Middlesbrough might come out fast, but then I think it'll settle down quite quickly, and I think that's then down to us to play our game and impose ourselves on them and try and keep the crowd quiet, yeah.
Middlesbrough will be desperate to get that first win on the board as well, won't they? I mean, they've had some good bits to their season so far, but they will know that if they can get points on the board, then that'll be a springboard for them now. So I guess Sheffield United have to be wary of how they're going to come out today.
Yeah, and Billy just touched on it before. You know, although Sheffield United was brilliant on the day they won last time against them, I do think Middlesbrough was below par. So you know that will play in people's heads as well, and I think we have to really start the game full concentration, make sure we don't give nothing sloppy away, because obviously if they get an early goal, it gets the crowd up, and you know, obviously they'll go all guns blazing then, but the longer we can stay in the game and frustrate them and keep the ball, grow into the game, I think we will then become more favourites. You're on commentary duty today, I'm going to let you go in just a second, but what is your prediction? I am going 2-1 Blades. 2-1 Sheffield United. I'll get Jack's prediction in just a moment. But before we get that, let's hear more from Paul Heckingbottom and his final thoughts ahead of this one at Middlesbrough.
With our capabilities, then we're a match for anyone.
Obviously, you know Chris, he knows you, you've worked together, you manage against each other. There'll be no real surprises, will there? You know a lot about each other's game and how you want to play.
Yeah, like I say, it's nothing new in terms of that. One or two different personnel involved on the pitch. But yeah, I don't think we're surprised in terms of how tough the game's going to be, and we know we have to be at his best. Chris will be saying the same to his players to compete, because we're coming up against a good team. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good game. We've had some good teams we've played early on in the season so far, and this is another one, you know, to see where you're at, see how competitive you are. Because I think, as I said, Watford, West Brom, Millwall, Borough, for me, are all going to be like top half teams, you know, barring any real surprises or errors. So they're good games for us to have early on.
Jack, how different are Chris Wilder and Paul Heckingbottom?
Yeah, they've got similarities, but obviously they are different. Both winners, so I'm excited to see them battle it out today. But no, they have got some similarities. I know Eki was working with the reserves when the gaffer was in charge. So yeah, both top managers as well. So yeah.
And the fact that Paul was on the staff before, has that helped the transition, do you think?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because he knew how we play, and he knew the lads, and obviously when he took temporary charge as well, he knew the lads from then. So yeah, it's definitely helped.
What do you think his message will be today?
I think so. I think take the sting out the game. Don't let the fans get behind them, and play our game, play our way.
Who's key?
Skipper.
Yeah.
Goal.
And it's not just that, though, is it? Because you know you watch Billy and the way that he brings others into play. He can buy you free kicks here and there. His nous, his intelligence is so important, isn't it, to this team as well? Not just his goals.
Yeah, of course, but I know what Billy's like. He's so competitive. I mean, even in pre-season when we were doing quizzes and pool games, he's so competitive, and he'll be so hungry to score today. And that's why I think he'll be key, because he's got this fire in his belly, definitely.
We've had Mark's prediction. What are you going for today?
2-0, clean sheet.
2-0, clean sheet. Billy getting both, or just one of them?
Billy and Illy.
Billy and Illy. There we go. Billy and Illy. They are watering the pitch quite heavily at the Riverside. It is a beautiful day for football up on Teesside. Sheffield United meeting Middlesbrough for the first time since the Blades ran out 4-1 winners here at Bramall Lane last season. So Chris Wilder, no doubt, will be out for revenge against his former club today. Just a couple of changes for Sheffield United from the Millwall game last time out in the Championship. Clark and Brewster are out of this one. Sharp and Lowe come in. So that is where we are at. The Riverside Stadium filling up rather nicely as well. McBurney, incidentally, is back on the bench. Tommy Doyle on the bench. So too Reda Kadra. So all three of those, no doubt, will be hoping to get a taste of the action today. And just a reminder that 5 subs can be used now this season, and that's going to be important, especially on a day like today, Jack, isn't it? The fact you've got more opportunities to move the team around.
Yeah, definitely. I think it helps us massively because we've got a good squad and a big squad, so it'll definitely help us today as well because of the heat.
Well, the teams are coming out, so about time we handed you over to your commentary team, Mark Duffy and Matt Young.
The unrelated nature of August sees United travel to Middlesbrough for game 4 of 8 this month. The small matter of a reunion with old boss Chris Wilder is on the menu today, as Paul Heckingbottom's side looked to find the form which brought them a convincing win against Millwall last time out in the Championship. These two sides were in promotion contention for large parts of last season, with this Sunday showdown a potential early marker of where they are this term, as both look to contend with the very sultry weather conditions here in the northeast. Mark Duffy joins me in the commentary box. Good atmosphere, as you'd expect at the Riverside Stadium. What's it like playing in this venue?
Oh, amazing. Amazing to be out there, and the lads are really looking forward to it. We have to keep the ball and move it around the pitch pretty quick. Just go ourselves into the game, really.
Blades have made a couple of changes, one significant one. Billy Sharp back in the starting 11 for the first time this season, and I'm sure coming up against his former boss and Chris Wilder, he'll be desperate to get on the score sheet this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely, and the experience that Billy brings and the leadership, he's probably in that team to lead the line, and we spoke about it before, he's still the main goal scorer.
And there is the skipper. He's fought back for the second successive pre-season to get himself ready for the start of the campaign, where injury threatened to rule him out. All handshakes for the two sets of coaching staff. Of course, Paul Heckingbottom worked with Chris Wilder when the former Blades boss was here at Bramall Lane.